Yeah, I'm here with Faye Dale, and she's one of the parents campaigning to keep Meadowbank School open. Now, Meadowbank School, primary school, is the only school in Cardiff which specialises in speech and communication for children in the city. And the council is proposing to close the school, which would be absolutely disastrous for so many children at the present time, also children next year and the year after and the year after, and all their families as well. And this is a very short-sighted proposal which will, in my professional opinion, as a qualified teacher for the last 23 years, I think it would ruin lives. And for me, as somebody who I've taught at primary, secondary, tertiary level. I've taught children outside of school on one-to-one tuition with individual needs, and there is no justification for closing this school. So we're asking people in Cardiff to support the school, and I'm sure Faye can tell you a little bit more.
Good link. Faye, can you tell the listeners, please, why you were so interested in this Meadowbank School, please?
Well, my son, William, he's now 10. He's attended the school since he was in reception age, so about 4. He started the school initially in the day class. It was a one-day-a-week placement at Meadowbank, and he spent the rest of the time in his mainstream local school. During that year, we sort of came to realise that Meadowbank was the place for him. He struggled in the mainstream school, and throughout the year the school were continually saying that they couldn't meet his needs because his needs were so complex. They just didn't have the specialist teachers at the school to be able to help him.
What are his needs?
Well, he's got dyspraxia, and he's also got verbal dyspraxia.
Now you've lost me. I know
Sorry.
dyslexia. What's dyspraxia?
That's coordination difficulties. So as well as obviously when he started nursery school, he only had a few words. He could only have about 3 or 4 words. And then obviously through the work they did in Meadowbank with the speech therapy, he's now, well, he won't stop talking.
That's lovely.
So yeah, the difference the school has made is amazing. But I think one of the other important things is they work on their confidence. When he was in the mainstream school, he'd sort of say that he had friends, but he didn't have the social skills to interact with the other children. But in Meadowbank they spend a lot of time working on social skills and play skills, and now he talks about his friends, and they are sort of genuine friends, and they have a special bond, the children who attend the school.
And what are the age ranges of the children at Meadowbank School?
They take them from reception age, so from about 4 up to 11.
And what happens when your son reaches, that's next year, when your son reaches 11, what happens to him then?
Well, there is no specialist provision for speech and language once they leave Meadowbank. They just have to go either into a mainstream school with support, or there is Woodlands Special School. But again, you've got the specialists there, but they're not the speech and language specialists that you have in Meadowbank.
It just seems really odd, this, because I was telling Neil before I met you, Faye, that when I first came to Radio Cardiff, I did an interview with some people from Grangetown who had children who were autistic, and they were reaching 17, and they were in, I don't know which school they were in, but I know that they'd got to be sent to England for any further help, and that was, meaning the whole family uprooting and moving to England when the man was 18. So it really is kind of shocking to me that we're a principality, we're a big country really, lots of people, why we don't have our own facilities for 11 pluses properly and for 18 pluses with autism or disabilities, like your son.
Yeah, I think, Meadowbank, they call it the centre of excellence, yet they're talking about shutting it. That just doesn't make sense to me. How it can be, they've got all these experts working there, yet they want to disband it, and they're going to weaken the service, because they talk about children going to the mainstream school. That's one of the options. I think the 2 options the council are proposing, there's initially the children who will still be in Meadowbank if it shuts next summer. They will be transferred to Allensbank, which is currently speech and language specialist resource base, but this is for children with moderate needs. The children at Meadowbank have severe needs, so I don't feel that they'll be fully met in that unit. And from the following September, so from September 2018, that is then going to become an autistic unit. So again,
Allensbank, that's
yes.
over in Catays. That kind of area. So is that very far from where you live? Because where is Meadowbank in relation to where you actually live?
It's in Gabalva.
And where do you live?
Morganstown.
Wow, so you've got a long way to commute.
Yeah, it will take people a bit extra to get to the...
I'd like to come in there because one of the reasons given by the council is that numbers are falling, so there's not demand. Well, the problem that... Well, the reality rather than problem. The reality is that the council do not tell parents about the school. That's the first thing. And I met two parents who had to spend £16,000 fighting to get their child into the school. So there's so many barriers put up to people actually going to the school that it's no wonder the numbers are dropping. So if the school was advertised and promoted, I'm sure the numbers would be a lot more healthy. And to go back to the political issue here, and I'm going to blame everybody that either votes without thinking or some listeners who don't vote, because when people don't go out and vote, and when people don't really think about what they're voting and do what their grandfather did and what their father did and what their grandmother did, these are the things that happen. Because in this city now, there is this very special school which is desperately needed by families and will be needed next year and the year after and the year after that. And there's a group of people, and I say it, that it is a Labour council, and they are removing this very special particular school without any realisation of what they're doing. And it's about time that people in Wales, and especially in Cardiff, woke up, started to smell the coffee and started to do something about it, because these things should not happen. And you've got to vote on May the 5th. I would encourage everybody to use it. I'm not going to say, in this sense, vote Plaid Cymru, because I'm here to promote my political party. What I'm asking you to do is think about who you vote for. And on this issue alone, see where your AM stands. See where your councillor stands, because this will be coming up to a vote. This school will not close without a vote, right? And we want people to vote the right way. And if people vote the right way, the school won't close.
Haven't we got any idea of the actual numbers, Neil? How many people have got dyspraxia, dyslexia, all these other things, these physical disabilities and other sort of issues, autism? Do we know any numbers to say, well, look, we've got this number of people who have been born or are age 2 and we've recognised these disabilities, or... I don't know, I hate using that word. Yeah. But do you know any numbers?
I'm not sure of percentages. The number at the school is very low, isn't it? Only
it's 22 currently at the school.
But I'm sure if the school was promoted properly, that there would be more numbers. But let's stop there, because there are 22 families there.
Yes. 22
families, and the provision should be there in a these children go to the school, and there's friends of mine whose child went to Meadowbank, and the progress that individual made was phenomenal. And that individual is leading a very normal, a very good life now. But if he hadn't have had the opportunity to go to that school, then his parents and me wonder just what situation that person would be in now. But the person's an adult and he's thriving, and as a result of lots of the work which went in to that person's life in Meadowbank.
Okay, we're going to take a short break here, Faye. I'm going to come back and talk to you, but I'd like to put a little bit of music in while I set up the next track.
Asking myself the questions is going round and round in my head. I'm searching for the answers. Maybe it was something that I said. So if I'm to blame, then tell me, or at least I should know. Questions, they need answers to why you had to go. Oh, I am mystified, mystified. Can't understand it. It's not the way I planned it. I'm mystified, mystified. Can't understand it. It's not the way I planned it. You're mystified, I'm mystified, I'm mystified over you. It makes no sense to me why it should be. Yeah. My life was a breeze, but you brought me to my knees. You turned and walked away. On that darkest day, you laid my heart low, and I don't even know why I am mystified, mystified. Can't understand it. It's not the way I planned it. I'm mystified, mystified. Can't understand it. It's not the way I planned it. If I did something wrong, then I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. Don't you know that I would never hurt your soul? Trying to break my heart. Sometimes I think I'm going crazy. It's driving me out of my mind. There's just no sense of reason to the answer. I'm trying to find. Oh, I'm mystified.
Yeah. Yes, I'm mystified by this issue that we're talking about today with Faye and Neil. Right, Faye, I believe you've got some more information on the statistical analysis like I was asking about.
Yes, speech and language impairment is more prevalent than the autistic spectrum disorder. Yeah, Cardiff Council proposed to shut Meadowbank, but they're promoting autism. So obviously I said the unit in Allen's Bank is going to become a unit for autistic children. But I just don't understand it, to be honest, because obviously if there's more children with speech and language, why are they being ignored? It seems an equality issue there, really.
Absolutely. They do deserve their own facility. Now, now that's Meadowbank. Then you were talking about another place where they go when they're a little bit older. Were we not?
Well, no, I think first of all, we need the key point is we need to save Meadowbank as a centre of excellence for speech and language. But then, of course, as the children get older, there are questions there as to what the provision could be or should be 11 to 18. But really, I'd rather focus on Meadowbank and make sure that we save the school. I think that's the key point, because as somebody who taught for years in secondary school and observed and interacted with lots of children with individual needs, I think with these kind of needs that the children have, if they're dropped into a mainstream school without the support that they need, and that's the key point, they will not get the support that they need. They're going to be lost. Yeah. It's simply not fair. And if you want to look at the global level of society, we'll all be worse off, because there are individuals that could be helped at a young age, as I said, like my friend's child, and then when they get to a certain point, they can go into mainstream then, and things are so much better, but they need the inputs especially at the young age.
Right, so now it's more clear to me now what's happening. We've got Meadowbank, which is speech and therapy and things like that for people with difficulties, and then they've got autism, which is a different thing altogether. Now, the council, why can't the council build a special school for autistic children and leave Meadowbank alone?
there is provision for autistic children, some of whom will be in Meadowbank as well,
Yeah,
because
I think there is an overlap. There are some children with autism who do have the speech and language problems, but I think there's a sort of a broad spectrum of that.
Yeah.
So,
but the key point is that with individuals, some of whom may be autistic, others not, there's specialist provision which enables is the key word. They're able then, after the input of Meadowbank, they're able to do things which they wouldn't be doing otherwise. And what the council is proposing will be limiting the life chances of these children, and that is wrong.
Well, what can I say? You're absolutely right. But what do you want the listeners to do to help you in your campaign to keep Meadowbank open?
well, just listen to our views, I think, and just do all they can to help us in our campaign.
Okay. Have you got a special campaign headquarters, a number we can contact or anything? Oh, Neil's got that.
Right, I can come to that. I'll go a little bit further than Faye. What I'd like people to do is check out with their person standing for election where they stand on this issue. And if they're not going to support Meadowbank School, don't vote for them. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but I'm telling you who, or asking you actually, who not to vote for. Now, if your AM candidate is not supporting Meadowbank, please don't vote for them. Secondly, if you go onto our webpage, and it's difficult to remember maybe, but it's cardiff.partyof.wales. So that's Cardiff, where we all live, partyof.wales. And on the page there we have the consultation for Meadowbank. So if you go on and sign as if you sign a petition, what will then happen is that consultation will be automatically sent to the council by us, and we want to build the numbers up in the consultation, and we want as many people as possible saying that we want the school to stay open.
Thank you very much, Neil. So you've got to go onto the Party of Wales's website.
No, it's Cardiff Party
Cardiff
Wales. To be honest,
of Wales.
it's because it's HTTPS, I think it is, but it's Cardiff because we're all from Cardiff.
Yeah.
Party of, that's what we are, and .Wales. Yeah.
Okay. Very good luck with this campaign. I do hope you sort your place out for your son in the future, very soon. Is there anything else you'd like to say to our listeners?
The only thing I'd like to add is that people need to act quickly, because the consultation actually shuts this Wednesday. So we do need people to act quickly if they want to support the campaign.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank Faye for coming in today. I'd like to thank Radio Cardiff as well, and especially Georgina, for giving us the opportunity to discuss this really, really important issue. So, diolch yn fawr. Thank you, Georgina.
Diolch yn fawr, both of you. Good luck.